They want too much for it.
It's all yours again.
I know, but there's a way. I'm waiting for them to go.
Yeah, I know. I called last week. I figured they'll just keep saying no, no, no. Oh, anyway. I'll take the mics.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to go do. It's like, well, let's go down and let's go down.
Take the mics, the poll text.
Bring the checkbooks, and it's like we'll fight over stuff, you know. Because I'm the same way. I want to go down there and just completely devastate my accountant.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They got all the cool stuff. Well, but luckily we've been able to make. You've made a very good living playing the guitar and singing, or singing and playing the guitar, or whatever order you want it. So what would happen if you had your choice?
Of what?
Well, this is a tough choice. In other words, if the genie popped out of the bottle and said, "Here's the deal, Steve-O. Either you're famous, or you get to play the guitar and sing."
Shut up, he explained.
Okay, just checking. That is checking.
That is neither reasonable nor fair.
Well, fair.
Fair, it's like, you know, it's tough enough. I think it's bad enough. Okay, you can play the guitar and sing, but along with it.
Oh, you can still pay the rent. You can still pay the rent, but.
But along with it, you have to do all this other shit, and people will talk about you incessantly, you know. And by the time the story hits the other end of town, it's become you're dead.
You're right. You die every Saturday night.
Yeah.
Well, one nice thing about it, we can talk about buying microphones and we can talk about buying nice guitars because it's. So maybe instead of saying that, what about? Okay, here's another one. If you had a choice of either playing the guitar, singing, making enough money to buy a couple of guitars, a couple of microphones that you really like, or the lifestyle. Is that any closer? Is that any easier to answer?
Oh, screw the lifestyle. I can be happy. I'm very happy. Just give me my axes and a typewriter and a few scraps of paper and some canvas and a shack and, you know, and down in the tropics someplace, and I'm a happy guy.
Okay. All right.
There's still that much artist left in me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm just putting...
this town hasn't killed all of it.
No. Well, good. Because I find that a lot of our contemporaries are looking to music and looking to the music business as like a career as opposed to getting into it because they actually want to do it for love or for art.
Well, how quickly, because of the pukes that are in the music business, they forget that it doesn't work unless you're doing it for love. Eventually, you will get caught.
That's right. Milli Vanilli did get nailed.
I mean, you know, and it's like in our lifetimes we've seen the example.
Oh.
You know,
yeah.
right?
Best thing that ever happened in the music business.
Right.
Actually, because now everybody's. It's interesting.
We had a great joke going on the road last year, me and David and Graham, because we're also homely looking. We said, well, we're just going to use our voices.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, but you guys have lasted a lot longer than Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, well, that's because there weren't any videos when we started.
Yeah, that's... Oh, cool. Well, songwriting, bonding, males, getting together. You think there's something to that? You think there's something about playing together with other guys?
Yeah, it's like a benevolent form of hunting. You know, it's like you get together, let's go hunt a song down and nail it. You know, and we use all these metaphors like there's another nail in the coffin, you know, and so on and so forth. It's like let's nail this down, so on and so forth. Because it's a wrestling match. You like have this elusive idea and you grab a hold of a piece of it and then you have to make sense of it. I have much more fun collaborating these days.
That was my next question, because the bonding thing, notwithstanding going out and playing together and hanging and doing on the road stuff, what is it about being able to complete an idea with another human being as opposed to doing it yourself?
Oh yeah, that Gestalt mentality that is it's one of the most satisfying things about human existence. You know, we have a rare opportunity to enjoy that and fulfill that. You know, I mean, can you imagine working in some office, you know, selling, you know, one of 18 salesmen of X, Y, or Z, you know, not a lot of satisfaction to be derived from your collective output.
No, I know. Tommy Tedesco tells the story because he used to put windshields in DC-3s. You know Tommy Tedesco, the guitar player. And he used to say whenever he was on a date and they had made him play some stupid part, all he would think about was putting windshields in DC-3s. And immediately, man, he would get all the inspiration would come right back, no problem. No problem. Let's see. Well, again, I don't want to get too personal, but In terms of your life, in terms of what your life is going to be in the future, is that going to be music? I mean, do you see being a musician for the rest of your life?
I tell you, I'm having we're supposed to go away on the road. And I have a new daughter, and I'm having a real tough time reconciling myself to leaving her deserting her for yet another 6-week period, you know.
You ever thought about taking her with you? Even if she's really...
I can't, it's too far, and I'm not with her mother, and it's like, even though she basically lives with me, I have to get, I have to get permissions and all that shit from the court, that fucking stuff that we can't use on camera.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Yeah, everybody's girlfriend ends up getting a new name. It's called Plaintiff. That's what Joe Wall said to me. He says, I want you to introduce you to Plaintiff. Mrs. Plaintiff. Well,
I love playing music in front of a lot of people, but I don't get paid to do that. I get paid to travel and be abused by David Crosby.
Oh. David, would you... No.
No, I don't get paid to play music. I get paid to travel. And I love to travel, but it used to be really fun to travel. But it is so bad anymore. I mean, there's so many people, and it's just, I hate it. I don't want to go. I don't want to go anymore. So anything you can think of for me to do so I can stay here and stay home, I want to hear about it.
All right, come mix with us at the China Club. You should mix Monday nights with me.
Okay.
To sit behind the console. That's great.
That, I can mix.
I'm having a good... Yeah, you'd have a great time.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're not doing anything on Monday, come on down.
Okay, where?
China Club.
Okay.
And come... The console's behind the bar, right next to the beer. And that's
yeah.
my
Let's
favorite
just
spot in the room.
Watch the goons.
And the bar is between you and the goons, like you say, so you can...
Yeah. Let's touch a little bit on the changing role of guitars in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I was just going to...
The way that it's been there in all those eras.
One question I want to ask you is, why do you think people play air guitar? I mean, why do people imitate guitar players?
Because it looks so stupid. It's funny, Isn't that enough? It's funny.
You think that's why they do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, what do you do? It's sort of like, it's musical cheerleading. I think it's neat.
You think it's because they want to participate?
Yeah, of course. I mean, music has that attraction. It's like a magnet.
Well, and then the next question: the 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, one of the things that we found out during this whole documentary is that it seems like the guitar replaced the saxophone sometime around the 50s as the really lead instrument, in a sense, the one that could be heard, obviously, because you can plug it into an amplifier and you can burn everybody else off the stage. But what do you think has happened to the guitar as sort of a symbol between the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s?
I think that we discovered that this is a much more libertine age, and the fact of how much of a phallic symbol that is has something to do with it.
Right.
And there's that, and there's a freedom to it, and the guitar and the saxophone is much too hard to learn.
Right. Yeah, you can't learn chords on the saxophone.
Right.
That's true.
And you can't sing and play with the saxophone. And I think that's a lot of it, was the the discovery of the folk songs and stuff like that. And and sitting around the campfire singing songs, there's only one thing you can do that with. And also it was the development of when I was a child, the only thing that anybody did that with was the ukulele when I was little bitty. I mean, guitars, who had guitars? Country singers. Right? And that was it. And then people began to discover it, and the Weavers and Woody Guthrie, so on and so forth. It turned into something else.
God, ukuleles.
Yeah.
I had an Arthur Godfrey ukulele with the thing strapped on the neck with the buttons to do the chord. God, you just took me back about 40 years. Wow. No, you're sure about
Right.
Do you think the guitar had anything to do with cars? Because when as kids we were allowed to have cars, that meant we could get away from who.
What we discovered was cool was all the same stuff. Cars got cool.
Right.
And guitars were cool.
Right.
And it was cool. And it's just, all went together.
Well, do you collect guitars?
Hmm?
Do you collect guitars?
I have, but my collection has been decimated by an assortment of strung-out roadies back in the 70s. It got really hurt bad. And so I lost a couple of really key pieces to having a truly, truly grand collection. So I don't know if I'd call myself a collector anymore. Plus, they've gotten priced out of beyond reason.
Well, did you collect them because of the way they sounded, or did you collect them because you wanted to have them?
I collected Martins. I have two D45s, and I had an old I-18, and I decided to just finish off all of the numbers, not necessarily because I like the way they sounded, because some of the middle ones, and I'm not that fond of them. But on the other hand, they all got a different voice. But mostly I pick my guitars for their voice. The voice of its particular guitar, like a Charlie Bird has a certain voice, a Birdland has a certain voice.
Sure.
That's different from an L5, even though they look the same, and a D'Angelico has a certain voice, and a Gretsch has a certain voice.
Would you use the voice with any other instrument? Do you think any other instrument has a voice, or does the guitar really sort of...
No, not to that, not the brands. It's like saxophones, you have, what you start out with, and then you go up to, you get to the Selmer Mark 6, and it's like you don't get into real saxophones until you've got a Selmer Mark 6, and then it's all up to you how it sounds, because they're pretty much all the same. Although, they have their fine points too, as does, the good Bach trombones and stuff like that. But that's basically what it, it's just that, they would say, why, people used to ask me, why do you have, I used to have like 8 guitars, and I still do have 8 guitars on stage with me. Why do you have so many guitars? Because each one of them has a different voice that goes with certain songs. I have to play a Gretsch on these particular songs, because otherwise it doesn't sound right.
Fair enough. No, I used to collect guitars, and I had a real... I loved them because I was one of those kids that wanted to have everything. I'm a toy freak. I've got everything that blinks or buzzes or lights up. I've got one. And I started to collect guitars, and one kid came up to me one day and he said, do you play all these guitars? It was in an interview, and I said, no. He says, well, why do you have them? And I thought about it for a second, and I ended up giving them all away. Because, why have a guitar that you don't play? It's a sin. It's almost as bad as smashing it up, taking it out of circulation.
I don't buy that.
No?
No.
You would have guitars that you don't play?
Yeah, it's like, because where are they going to be? I mean, if they're, if somebody really wants them, they'll find out that I have one, and they'll come and say, I hear that you have a 0045, and I have to have a 0045. I would say, you got it. But as for, giving them all away, that's a little sick stage for me.
Well, I sold a few of them. I mean, I didn't give them all away. I mean, I have to be truthful. Oh, absolutely.
Please.
No. But I got rid of them.
Spare me.
They left my presence.
Okay.
They left my presence under the auspices of either
probably, once people started ripping off my best ones, the ones that I did play, but not that often, figuring, he'll never miss this, and not paying any attention to the ones that I never touched that were in the corner gathering dust, that were basically collector's items that needed fixing, and basically just put those aside for a while and let them gain some value, and pull them out after they've aged a bit, That's
sure.
one too. And but I had a bunch of Fenders, and I hadn't quite worked them into the set yet, and people started, those are the ones that disappeared. That's when I got mad about it and quit collecting, basically. So if I couldn't really take care of them myself, then what's the point, right?
Did you ever think about working 9 to 5? Did you ever have a job like that?
I figured that out in school. They had it backwards. Basically, you're supposed to work 3 months and mess off for 9 months. And, and that you should have the day to yourself and work, when we used to get through with school, that's when you should go to work, and you should work pretty much. Yeah, it's like, not long.
Did you ever stick groceries in a bag, or
Yeah,
working a...
Sure. Everybody's had that job.
Sure, that was the job, being a bag boy.
I get to the grocery store today, and nobody shows up, and somebody starts to do it wrong. You go, wait.
Right.
You don't put that. This is a job you never forget how to do.
We'll do an instructional tape
Right.
next time. That's funny.